What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Keith. My company name is Genetically Modified Dragons. That's what G.M.D stands for. If you're new to the channel, just go ahead and subscribe now. Hit the thumbs up so we can get the channel growing faster. All my contact information is in every video in the description box. So if you need to contact me for anything, you can contact me with those links that's in the box below. But yeah, today I'm going to be talking about breeding bearded dragons. Like these two right here is a pair. I plan on breeding them, but for some reason they're not breeding. And I get this question a lot. I have a male and female bearded dragon, but they're not breeding. What can I do? My suggestion is probably not gonna work 100% of the time, but it works for me a lot because it don't work for me 100% of the time, but it does work sometimes, most of the time. So if you put the male and female together, the male should be head bobbing and trying to mount her. Sometimes the female is going to be defensive, looking like this towards the male. She's doing that to me right now. But usually, if they're receptive, they're gonna start bowing down real slow, like a real slow nod. And the male, even if the female is aggressive, if the male is aggressive enough, he's gonna mount her and make her submit. But if something happens, you put them together, they do all the dances and everything, and he tries to mount her, but he doesn't actually breed her. The female may not be ovulating, so he doesn't finish the copulation. But what I would do in that situation is separate them, make sure the male can't see any other dragons, and do this for about 2 weeks. And during that time, you're gonna pump this female up. And when I say pump the female up, that means feed her as much as she'll eat without her throwing up. So, and make sure you're doing this like in the mid-afternoon around 12 o'clock, so she has plenty of time to digest. But you're gonna feed her as much as she want to eat. You can do like pinky mice and stuff like that. You want her body to think that it's okay to produce some eggs. So that's why you're gonna feed heavy. And then you do the same thing again. After the 2 weeks, introduce him again. Actually, you let him see the female and let him get his testosterone going, black beard. Some males will start black. The beard will go all the way black into the chest. Even to the front leg sometimes, depending on the male. But you let him get all the way amped up, and then you put the female in there. And then he should mount her again, and hopefully they do a compilation. If it doesn't work, separate and repeat the same thing. The goal is to get her receptive to him and ovulating. And feeding heavy should induce her to ovulate. But right here we have a hypo leatherback female, the one with the attitude, and then we have a hypo trans male. She's head hypo, I mean she's possible head trans, and she will actually bite me if I allow her to, if I put myself in a situation. But if I go in and I just pick her up, she'll close her mouth and kind of calm down. But she sees the sun right now, so she's freaking out more than normal. So if I get her attention over here, I can come around the back with my other hand and actually pick her up, and she usually will calm down. She's not calming down right now, but you can pick them up. You just have to work with them. But yeah, I'm gonna get her back in her cage, let her stop stressing out, because I am trying to get her to breed. The goal is to produce some orange and yellows hypotrans leatherbacks with a nice structure for these two. So yeah, I get that question a lot. It's not going to work all the time. Sometimes the dragon is not even compatible, so you might have to get a new male or a new female, or every animal doesn't produce. So, but that's what I suggest to do. Separate them. Let the male be alone. Don't let them see any other dragons. That way when he does see a dragon, he's very interested in seeing it. And the female, we pump her up, feed her dubia roaches, super worms. You could do silkworms. They're high in calcium, which she's gonna need because she's gonna be producing eggs. But dubia is like my go-to. I like dubia a lot. And like I said, pinky mice, because she's gonna, if she does happen to breed, she's gonna lose weight during that time. So you want her to put as much weight on as possible. So when she loses weight, she looks back to normal. There's an airplane going overhead. But yeah, that's my suggestion to you guys. I can't tell you how many times I got that question. Like I said, it might not work every time, but that's what I do. And even for me, it doesn't work every time, but it's a good way to start, and that's what I suggest. And sometimes you can let a male see another male, so they feel like they need to dominate, and then once they get both hyped up, put the female with the male that you want her to breed to. That's another way. Even a mirror will work sometimes for the male. Let the male see himself in the mirror. He's gonna get all defensive and ready to fight. And once he get all black bearded out and hyped up, he introduced the female, and his testosterone is going, so he's gonna want to breed her. But it's always up to the female. And you can tell if the female is going to allow him to court her. Because once he bites her neck, the female, if she's receptive, is going to start lifting her tail up so that he can get his tail underneath. And sometimes you can test that with yourself by pinching the back of her neck right here. You just pinch that part on the female. And sometimes you can see if her tail is going to raise up. But keep in mind, if you do that, you can't induce her to ovulate and produce infertile eggs. So if you do that, make sure you do intend on breeding her, so you don't force her into ovulation. I used to have a bunch of females, and I housed like 3 in a cage together. And sometimes if a female knows that she's going to come and ovulate, she would force the other females to ovulate before her and give infertile eggs so that her eggs can be more viable. So the female would act like a male, bite the other female on the neck, and then actually like mount her like she's really a male, like the full action. So if you're keeping females together, keep in mind that can happen. And like I said, you can test that way, but it can induce her to actually ovulate. So if you don't plan on breeding her, don't try that. Because the female, even with infertile eggs, the body's going to go through the same thing. So some people want their dragons to be a certain size before they breed. But if the female was already producing eggs prior to that size that they're looking to get it to, the body's still going through the same process. So if a female is looking like she's receptive, doing like actually when she sees males like bowing and stuff, you can let them breed as long as if you want to. You can let them breed if she's healthy size, thick legs and stuff like that, and it look like she can actually hold eggs without depleting herself too much. You can go ahead and do it if you want to. That's what I do, because she's going to produce eggs anyway, and her body's going to go through that same process for no reason. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just want to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to do a quick recap. If you put the dragons together and they don't breed, the male do the head bobbing and everything. He jumps on her back and get off of her and don't ever breed her. Separate them. Don't let the male see another dragon for about 2 weeks. During those 2 weeks, pump feed the female. Feed her as much as she can, and as much as she can eat without like vomiting and stuff like that. And don't be feeding like close to time when the lights are gonna go off, because she's gonna have an upset stomach and throw up because she can't digest because she needs that heat. So make sure you don't feed like 3 hours prior to the lights going off. And then 2 weeks after, introduce them again. Let them see each other from a distance. Let the male get pumped up and ready to breed. Let him get his full blackbird on. He's gonna fluff his body up, probably run in circles and stuff like that. Try to get through to the cage. Once you do that, put the female in. Watch their behavior. The female might be defensive. It's okay. Let her be defensive. It's just the male's job to dominate her and mount her and make her feel like he's the man. So they might bite a little bit, as long as it don't get too hectic. Like bite the tail and like sling it. Actually seen it before. That time you need to go ahead and separate. But a little bit of dueling a little bit is okay. But if you see people damage being done on either one of them, go ahead and separate. But yeah, I'm going to end the video here. If you have any more questions about this, you can email me, DM me on Instagram. All information is in the description box. So like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're new to the channel, if you like some of the information I just gave, go ahead and subscribe. Tell your friends about me. Let's make this channel grow. And I can give you guys my experience on these animals. It's not from a textbook or anything like that. There's actual experience with the animals and stuff that I have done, and it worked for me. It may not work for everybody, but it worked for me. You can try it. But yeah, I'm going to end the video now. Until next video, you guys have a good one. Peace.